Welcome to the Eric Gavisar Show. The Virginia Tech Hokies took on East Carolina in Week 3 of college football here, and the Hokies playing on the road against the Pirates. This is a long series that has dated back to 2007. It's been a very controversial one, but Saturday's result is the most positive and encouraging one the Hokies have ever enjoyed, beating ECU, walloping them. It was a massacre, is what it was in the second half, as the Hokies came out on top, 64-17. Believe it or not, Virginia Tech was actually down 2 possessions in this contest. It was quite stressful watching that first quarter. All the anxiety that was at Big Wangs. And if you're in LA and you want to watch the Hokies play, make sure you come join us at Big Wangs. We're having a great time watching every game. But back to what I was saying here, the Hokies, stressful first quarter, giving up some early touchdowns to the Pirates. The defense, looking a little bit vulnerable out there early on, but that was it for the defense. They took care of business from there, and the offense really took care of business in a record-setting way. Once the Hokies went down 17-7, Cam Phillips got his record-breaking day going, really fighting for a 10-yard touchdown grab off of a fade route, catching the ball from Josh Jackson, showing his work ethic, showing how far he's come as a receiver, hands down the clear number one option for the Hokies, just an absolutely irreplaceable cog in the VT offense. He finished with an eye-watering stat line, a school record-breaking 14 catches for 189 yards and 3 touchdowns. What a day for Cam Phillips, one I'm sure he will never forget. And Josh Jackson, the redshirt freshman, also posting an incredible stat line of his own, going 24 of 31. Terrific completion percentage there for 372 yards and 5 touchdowns. Jackson now has the best quarterback rating in the ACC, and that's in large part because he has not thrown a pick yet in his first 3 games. Pretty impressive. The way Jackson's going about his business, he's making plays and he's not making mistakes. That's the great thing about him. He's just so smart with the football in his hands. What a phenomenal decision maker at this point. Of course, he has a much tougher competition ahead of him. But man, what a great start he is enjoying. I think he might even be a dark horse ACC Player of the Year pick, although of course it'll be extremely hard to top the GOAT for Louisville, Lamar Jackson. But at any rate, the play that really broke the game open for the Hokies, in the second half, in the third quarter, Josh Jackson fooled everyone, throwing a jump pass to Trayvon McMillan that went 70 yards for a touchdown, right through the middle, up the gut, through the heart of the ECU defense. It was just a phenomenal play. Probably demoralized ECU a little bit once they went down 36-17, and the Hokies scored 5 touchdowns in the third quarter. Cam Phillips catching 2 more touchdown passes, McMillan's play, Sean Savoy catching a 9-yard touchdown pass, and then Jalen Holston punching in a 1-yard run. So really just a score-a-thon, a scoring party. It was an all-you-could-score buffet in the second half of the Hokies. They had the backups in by the end of the third quarter. It was a beautiful thing to see. So back to what I was saying about Trayvon McMillan. Fuente finally starting to get on board with the Feed Trayvon movement, the Feed Trayvon hashtag, whatever you want to call it. He had 72 yards on just 11 carries, a 6.5 rushing average. He's clearly the best running back on this team. Yes, Steven Peoples is a great goal line back with his toughness, but Feed Trayvon needs a minimum of 15 carries a game. Feed the man. He's so talented, and he gets the job done. Also need to shout out Joey Sly for taking care of business and making his record 69th field goal, passing Shane Graham for most of all time. You could say Sly has scored slyly 69 times. So the Hokies will now turn their attention to Old Dominion, where they will have the chance to go 4-0 and have a top 10 ranking heading into the game against Clemson. I do think if Virginia Tech wins that game, not that ODU is the toughest opponent, but the kind of momentum the Hokies have built, the way they've been looking so far, a top 10 ranking would actually be pretty merited, I think. So it'll be fascinating to see how that plays out. Of course, Clemson beat Louisville on the road last night. That's going to be one heck of an epic showdown. But for now, the Hokies need to focus on their in-state rivals and really look forward to seeing how the rest of it plays out. So again, Virginia Tech taking care of business against the pesky ECU Pirates, but they weren't pesky this time. They just rolled over and took a beating in that second half. It was a beautiful thing to watch. I hope you got to enjoy it, Hokie fans. 64-17 the final. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel.